Welcome everyone to the first Smite Champions League broadcast. I'm here with Rob. Rob, how are you doing?
I'm doing just fine. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty well.
Sick.
So let's see how the teams are doing. So we have the standings here with us. Today we are definitely playing against Shalom Jack. And yeah, what do you think?
The thing is about We Are Deadly is they're mostly a ranked team, right? Shalom Jack have been together for a while. They have made a few changes recently. They've got Nutley in for the jungle. They've got Rosie in for the mid. But when it comes to sort of ranked all-star teams, the problem they mostly have, in my opinion, is synergy. They don't work well together. Individually, they're great players, but Shalom Jack, from the games that I have played against them in the league and games that I've seen them play, they are a unit. And that's one of the biggest problems I think that We Are Deadly is going to face today.
Yeah, so basically what you're telling me is that Shalom Jack should steamroll We Are Deadly.
It depends on how the lanes go. I think during the laning phase, with some of the individual skill from We Are Deadly, they probably might have the advantage there. But the moment it comes together, I'm expecting Shalom Jack to just be popping left, right, and center across the map.
And what role do you think is going to be the biggest diff? Because I hear that Shalom Jack has a midfield today because Rosie could not make it.
Ooh, mid-fill. I mean, It depends on how that, because when it comes to things like fills, it's really hard to tell exactly how well they're going to do, how well they're going to synergize with the team. But they also do have a new jungler for Shalom Jack as well, which, jungle is a pretty heavy role in terms of communication, in terms of how the teams want to play with each other. So perhaps that could also affect sort of the synergy overall. So maybe the jungle might be the highlight.
Yeah, I know that we also made like one or two role changes. So it's going to be a very interesting matchup to just see how they're all going to do. So let's take a look at the We Are Deadly roster. So We Are Deadly roster, and you can actually immediately see the stats that are also available on the website. What is the thing that stands out the most to you?
See, the top three play gods. That's a lot of AoE teamfight they seem to want to go with. Hunbats, Kukulin, Raging. Three gods that really just want to get into the middle of a fight, cause a lot of disruption, spread the team out, and then just pick them off one by one. So they might try to do the whole spread the team fight, and then maybe, depending on what the jungle pit's going to do, try and isolate and kill off the carries, or maybe even blow up the support so there's no one to peel anymore.
Yeah, it looks like it, and I see that Delano switched to support here. It's actually new to me. I know he switched to something, but I didn't know it was support, so that's pretty amazing to see. He was a solo laner before, so that's going to be an interesting one to keep an eye on.
Well, I'll just support me myself.
He's the MVP, it seems like.
Yep.
So let's see who's the MVP for Shalom Jack.
No surprises at all. Mirkon, absolutely phenomenal ADC player. I don't know if you've ever played against Mirkon in lane, but the man does not miss on her ults. It hurts.
I mean, I'm not good enough to play against him in lane, but we can see that the top 3 play God Cezanne, so he probably plays under quite a bit.
That man does not miss an her ult. It is ridiculous. And the rest of the team as well. Ratatasker, Fenrir, that is very much, it depends whether Fenrir wants to play, but Ratatasker and Fenrir, that is a jungler that just wants to get onto somebody and kill.
Yeah, and I want to just say that Jamal is like a standout support most of the time when he feels like it, but I think if they get a bit on his nerves, the team's gonna have a rough time.
The support play can always be the either the strongest link or the weakest link based on how they're playing the map. It's all about the synergy with the jungler, and as we can see from the Ratatasker, the Fenrir pick, it looks like their jungle wants to go exceptionally aggressive. So maybe we'll see some more aggressive sort of support picks, the Sobek, something like that, to maybe synergize with that as well, blow up somebody whenever they can get a pick.
Alright, that's going to be an interesting one, so I think we should get into picks and bans. So what do you think the current meta is, Rob?
It seems like at the moment people seem to want to favor just kind of deleting somebody straight away and then rolling over on the 4 versus 5. So you're seeing a lot of those kind of burst heavy style of junglers, a lot of pick heavy supports coming in. On top of that, having said all of that, Set being a first ban, is anybody really surprised?
No, and the same with the Tiamat. You don't really want to play against it, do you?
Nope, just constant split pushing, constant pressure in lanes. It's really just annoying more than anything else.
Yeah, and if you're talking about annoying, King Arthur, he's also gone.
Just
and
really strong.
Athena, another one of the big.
Taking out a lot of the quote-unquote best, and Gilgamesh as well. I mean, newest god in the game, as Hi-Res tends to do. Oh, pretty strong.
Yeah, pretty
in
strong.
Multiple roles. Taking out the Athena is also an interesting one, because it's often been said that the best way to beat teams that you're not sure about is to just pick globals and turn a 1 versus 2 gank into a 4 versus 2, and then win the map from there. So taking out the Athena, very smart. Scylla as well, I mean, pretty much a standard mid lane pick that you're used to seeing right now. And no surprise that we are deadly instantly with the Apollo.
Insta-locked. What you were seeing with the globals, it kind of applies to Apollo as well. So with his chariot. Oof. And the response, instantly go to the Anna again. It's one of their most big gods. And as you can see, they pick it again.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And the Cabrakan, exactly. That is aggression personified. Is that going to be a support Cabrakan? A solo Cabrakan or a jungle Cabrakan?
I think it might be a jungle one, but I'm not sure.
So do you think Cabrakan works better in the jungle in this current meta, or do you think he's more of a...
I mean, I think he does, but I mean, like, he has such shake burst if you build him full damage in the jungle, but then again, you're like super squishy.
Yeah, I think we've all got PTSD from getting one shot by a Cabrakan. Yeah. Just barrels out the jungle, bang, dead.
Stop talking about it, I don't want to know. It remind me.
Getting the shakes. Raging and Sobek as well. I mean, Raging, one of their top pick gods. We saw it initially. And Sobek, I mean, it's a pretty standard support pick, Sobek. Nothing really fancy.
Yeah, I mean, Delano, in his first time in the support role, he just goes safe, he picks the Sobek.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the easier kind of supports to fall back on, similar to the Ymir. It's kind of hard to go really wrong with him, especially with that passive. You make a mistake in lane, it's not as punishing as something like a Kepri or a Yamoja or something like that.
Did they just ban a Heimdall and a Jingwei when Apollo is already locked in? That's an
Could be
interesting
Apollo
one.
jungle. That's making a little bit of a comeback recently.
Yeah, that's true. It's still a strong flex pick.
I mean, I kind of wish it isn't, and I think Apollo jungle players are kind of... Let's not get into that. Anyway, so you have the Nemesis and the Morrigan taken out. I mean, Morrigan, in my opinion, is more of an assassin than she is a mid laner. You don't really pick the Morrigan because you want a burst mage. You pick it because you want that more kind of bursty, that kind of utility style mage. Transform into a carry, a secondary support, get onto the backline and try and do things like that, rather than something like, for example, Scylla that was banned out, where you kind of just want to sit in the backline, throw out spells, and do ridiculous amounts of damage.
Yeah.
And speaking of sit in the backline, deal ridiculous amounts of damage, Giannis makes an appearance.
Yeah. And we also have 2 more globals added in the last few picks, so we have a Ratatoaster and a Giannis, so it's going to be a heavy rotation game, probably.
I think, though, problem is with We Are Deadly is that they do have that strong sort of global rotation. You know, you have that double dunk, the So Beautiful into the rattle as well. But when you look at the side of Shalom Jack, Giannis is a full team. Everybody goes at the same time. So I think Giannis kind of pulls double duty. He kind of makes up for the only having the one global, personally.
So if you look at these 2 squads, who you think is going to win?
Purely based on the gods and not looking at the team names of the players, I would say that We Are Deadly's roster looks a little bit more well-rounded. They have decent AoE burst, they have those 2 globals, they have decent late-game potential in the Apollo and the Raging. Tsukuyomi is just really annoying in all stages of the game. I think if they play that correctly, could potentially go well. Shalom Jack, I mean, I think Cabrakan, if he doesn't get too far ahead, he's pretty not great in most situations. And with the side of that Kamazots to me is a very selfish jungler. You pick him because you want to do the damage, you want to kill people. Whereas you look at the side of like a Ratataska, you have that stun, you have that setup that I don't think Kamazots really provides, but at the same time, you have a Cabrakan. How much more setup do you really want?
Yeah. Now, with all that info, let's take it away to the casters. So, today we're going to have Ivan and Rohirrim Strider. Good luck, boys.
Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. We are just getting out of the picks and ban phase into the first game of We Are Deadly versus Shalom Jack. Jack are coming into this off the back of a 3-win streak, while We Are Deadly just took their first loss 2 games ago. I'm here with Snow Kid. What do you think of these drafts?
Yeah, quite an interesting draft. As I said by the desk, one team has 2 globals with Ratatosker and obviously Apollo, and the other team has just Janus, but Janus kind of creates Portos and brings his whole team over, so kind of nullified. But yeah, as you said, We Are Deadly lost the first game quite recently against Team Solar Farm, which is quite a surprise to us. So We Are Deadly were a really strong winning streak, and Team Solar Farm had to forfeit some games, and they weren't too known of a factor. But yeah, they did really well, and they managed to take down the top dog, and this top of the league clash, so it's going to be quite interesting to see.
Let's take a look at the starts these guys are going for. That's mid, and the looks like We Are Deadly is going for kind of the standard ranked start, while Giannis and Onher are a little bit up on the left side.
Yeah, it's also quite interesting to see that Jamo is over here on the right side of the map with a support pick on the Kabrakin here. Oh, there looks like they're going to be looking for a blue invite here, and Notorious might be in trouble.
Rat's going to spot it out. It's going to force him to drop back a little bit, but I don't know if he's seen the Kabrakin quite yet.
He did drop a ward, but I think he only saw the Kakulan. And now Kabrakin is maybe looking for the flank here.
I think so. Kabrakin looks like he's going to be walking away. Maybe not. I don't think there's a lot to get out of this, especially being a Kabrakin into a Rat and a Tsukiyomi. He's going to start to recall, and that's a bit unlucky. I think that's really good for We Are Deadly's duo lane, now that they have this that huge deficit in farm in the support lane.
Yeah, that was really big. As you saw there, the Mirko got poked down quite a lot by the camp as well, by the buff. And now he's forced to lane 2v1, and look, Delano is set up looking for a block, and if he's not careful, he might have to burn beads at least.
Oh, yeah.
It's crazy that the start by Jamal was really risky and nothing came out of it, and it's actually a huge loss. Jamal is still level 1, well, Delano is level 2 already, and they're probably looking on to level 3 for Brock. It's pretty big.
Also, a fair amount of poke onto the Camas up, but he's going to return a whole bunch onto the Kabrakin, forcing him to back off a fair bit.
Yeah, that's true. The region here is pretty poked out. But let's look at the starts. I think from build-wise perspective, it's pretty standard. We see actually, I have the jungle on the Camazot, he opts not to go for that Bombus Hammer. He's probably looking to get some out attacks in then. But also Maxis obviously is gonna abuse the strong hitting power of that upgrade Bombus Hammer, and abuse the range that obviously Tsukuyomi gets with the range attacks and deal a lot of true damage.
Oh, that Apollo. Okay, Apollo hit both of them with the one that does a lot of poke, but the impale lands onto the Sobek. Both supports are really hurt.
Yeah, it's a really good trade there from Shalom Jack. They're kind of looking to snowball their dual lane, one of the strongest sides of the map. As we have Slending going in here.
Raijin dashes in, hits a fair bit of damage, but it's forced to back out, having no more damage he can do. Rat and Kakulin doing solo lane things. Looks like Rat got a little bit the better end of him.
Yeah, and also it's interesting to see that both supports actually went for the Benevolent start, so we're probably going to be seeing Compassion being in the future. But now this double buff invade from blue side here, from We Are Deadly, and that's going to be a huge advantage gained again for We Are Deadly, who do have, I would say, a bit stronger early game with the Sobek, the Tsukuyomi, Polo, as I said, hitting pretty hard, and then Raging just bringing in the damage from distance. But also, you have to be careful not to overextend, because obviously, big minority with the portals can bring a lot of people in unexpectedly. And also, Jamo with that Kabrakin can burst people also pretty unexpectedly. You don't expect the damage from the support, but early game Kabrakin damage is pretty strong. And we also, interestingly enough, sorry to cut you off, interestingly enough, we see the horrific emblem from Jamo here on the Kabrakin, which is pretty interesting. He's probably going to look into jump into the middle of the team, drop the big slow, and just lock somebody with a cage and get a pick off for his team.
I think the horrific emblem on Kabrak. Oh, that pluck went a little wide. I think the horrific emblem on Kabrakin it's a pretty solid pickup if you're trying to do a lot more early, but shell drop by Sobek taking a lot of damage. That pluck lands, is it going to be enough? Apollo can't quite find the auto attacks.
Yeah, Mirko was
And
in
the
trouble
Kabrakan
there.
should be able to get out here.
Mirko was in trouble there on the Anhur, but yeah, Kabrakan managed to get out. Quite unfortunate for Rear Diddley there as they couldn't secure a kill. But both relics used on the supports. And actually the beats was on cooldown for Mirko, so must have been blown quite early by the Sobek, I assume. Just came off cooldown, so that was quite a risky play for the red side. And now Jackie's in trouble.
Ooh, Notorious to get in the better end. Tsukiyomi gonna fire ult. That's going to find a kill on. That's going to find first blood onto the Bracken in the soul.
That's pretty huge. Jackie was almost able to transform there and maybe even turn it onto Maxis, who was already under tower, but the ult secures it there for the Tsukiyomi. Really good play by the jungler for We Are Deadly.
He got there right in time to hit that ult. If he gets there a second later, I think that kill either gets away or he takes a lot of damage from tower in the process.
Yeah, I think
Sobek's gonna harass the Bracken a bit here.
Yeah, it was a really good play again by Maxis. It's now in Notorious just very deep in the jungle. He's gonna ult actually.
Oh,
That's
Rat went up. Apollo ult's purple. Rat is okay. Rat's yeah, he's chilling. He's up a level and up 2 actually on the Kamazot, so that's a pretty significant deficit. This Kabraken's still level 4 without an ult.
Yeah, Jamal looked for the early play early on in the right side, looking to evade the blue. He didn't get much off, and now he's very far behind in experience. But he's gonna actually help Jackie get this blue invade off. But now Maxis is on the flank as his Ratatorsker coming in. Might be trouble for them. That's a blinky from my Notorious.
Ooh, ult lands on 2. Same with the Kabraken ult. Those two are stuck between a rock and a hard place. That is going to be a double kill for Shalom Jack, as Sobek is looking for something, not quite going to be able to find it. I don't think he has the damage to pick up either of those kills without a good ult.
That was really well played by Jackie. Just gets in the middle of both, gets the double ults off, as well as I said, the Jamal ult and the Kabraken just locks in both players, and they're big trouble there. Maxi still had his ult, but he really couldn't do much there. In Notorious just wasn't much of a factor in the fight. Then the Janus ult came in to help if any. She's gonna come in. Slinger's in trouble.
Raijin's going to take a lot of poke, but I don't think they have the damage to confirm this, with Janus' ability being a little bit off the mark. That last engagement really turned around the soul lane for Jackie.
Yep.
I think now he's a level up.
He's a level. He's top of the leaderboard, and now Mirko is going in for Brock, and Brock dodges all the shots on the ult. Unfortunately, there for Mirko, misses everything, and now Brock is going to be able to get out scot-free as the rotation is coming in here.
So Tsukiyomi going to try to pick up the low health on her. Ult lands 1 tick of it. The jump is down, pushes him further in. Beads comes out. And Tsukiyomi is going to find the kill onto the on her. Janus ults in, does a lot of damage done to the Tsukiyomi. Shell lands, and Kamazot's is low. But on the right, Sobek misses dashing on the right lane. Cullen is going to find a kill onto the Ratatosker. Raijin ults killing 1, going to get dropped through the Janus portal. Apollo picks up Janus, and they should also be able to find Kabraken in this fight. That is a... This Kabraken shouldn't be alive. There we go.
He lived for a bit too long there, a bit dangerous. Dano had to sacrifice his life there, but yeah, as I said, Jackie getting a solo kill on the right side of the map meanwhile. But yeah, that's anyway a huge fight on the left side for We Are Deadly, picking up 4 kills, I think, or yeah, it was exactly 4 kills for just Delano, which is a huge win for them. But still, Jackie's dominating the network, and he's going to be really far ahead on this Cullen. He's going to be big trouble in the team fights if they can deal with him. Obviously, though, afterwards you can see that the 3 top players from the blue side, which is We Are Deadly, are quite far ahead of their counterparts, except for, I guess, Ratatorsker. But yeah, mid lane is ahead, as well as jungle, and that could be big trouble as we see Nutley unfortunately struggling being bottom of the network in the early game, which is not something you want to see your jungler being. Definitely a bit rough start for Nutley there. And Shalom Jack, but they are only 1k behind currently. They might be able to come back, but now Delano is in trouble here.
There's a lot of damage onto that Sobek. Rat's gonna dash, get caught by the Kabraken ult. Kakalin ults 3. Giannis ult finds a few. And that Camazot's ult should be able to pick a few. Though they did get the Kabrakan in trade. Raijin ult. Gonna hit its target, but not quite enough damage to finish the kill onto this Giannis. Unstable Vortex goes through, and Kakalin is able to pick up that kill onto Raijin. 4 kills go in the direction of Shalom Jack.
That was huge. We were just talking about how We Are Deadly got a 4-for-1, just losing their support on the left side of the map, and now Shalom Jack just turning around on them on the right side of the map, get 4-for-1, only losing Jamal, again their support, and the gold is basically now in favor of Shalom Jack because of that turn of events. Now Brock is here, and Nutlay's kind of looking for something. Mirkon is getting poked out though.
Big trade for the Apollo, but he's not going to be able to... Oh, he's going to go up into the air into the Apollo ult.
He's getting that back in.
Oh, that's going to be a bit off the mark. On her ult hits, and the on her Mirkon is going to be able to find a kill on Brock. Sobek also, you're trying to finish this kill, is not quite going to be able to find it. It has to use the dash to disengage onto the Kabrakan.
Yeah, that was well played by Shalom Jack. They did invest 3 people there, but they managed to get a pick off on Brock, and also his ult is down, so he's not going to be able to ult back to lane. He's going to probably even out the farm, or Mirkon is going to try and even out the farm with him. Delano came in, but it was way too late, and Mirkon had already gotten his jump back up, and he was able to just jump out. But yeah, pretty solid trade. Yeah, for Shalom Jack, they're back in the game. Pulling up 700 gold ahead now, so well played to them for coming back. But as you can see, actually a little difference in the builds in the Hunters here, as always going for the more standard like instant sprint build, while there is probably an executioner being built on the Anhur first. We're gonna see who is gonna be able to get more damage done early on.
Greater Scorpion started up by Shalom Jack. They're gonna be able to confirm it without any contest. This solo level difference is nasty, and Giannis gets not quite just not enough damage to pick up the kill on him using the through space and time to get through that wall.
Yeah, it was a good pluck on the Giannis, but he just uses sword and gets out of that sticky situation. Didn't even have to blow beat, so to play there for a big minority to get out of it. Oh, Brock is slow here, and again Mirkon just misses a few of the shots on the ult, and unfortunately doesn't able to pick up the kill. But yeah, actually Mirkon is now beating Brock pretty strongly, and he's forcing him back every time we see what's happening in the duo lane.
There's everybody grouping up in the middle lane. The Kakulin is proxying. Gonna find a pull on the Kabrakan, probably gonna be enough to kill him. A lot of damage comes through from the Giannis Unstable Vortex. Apollo, the global ults are here. Apollo Chariot does not find a target, but Rat ult does. Apollo finding the last basic attack. Sobek doing his best to keep this massive Kabrakan away from his team. 4-man knockout.
That was picked by Jackie, but unfortunately his team had died already, and nobody was there to follow up on that 4-man ult. Yeah, as you said, the global was just come in place here. Just double global the Giannis, and there's nowhere he can run, even when his ult is down. He was forced to use his ult earlier by the good play by Delano, and now he's forced to just try and run away, and can't run away from 2 globals. They just catch up to him, basically one-shot him with the Apollo and Ratatoskar. And that's a kill back in favor of We Are Deadly. They're slowly closing down the lead. It used to be around 700 gold, now it's back down to about 400 to 500. So pretty well played. And then Jackie comes back on at the end of the fight, but he's not able to get much on us. His team is already poked out, and Jamal was already dead, as well as Giannis there.
That rotation speed difference between Rat and Colin is really rough, because Jackie has a massive lead and absolutely can do a lot with it, but it's virtually impossible to out-rotate that global Rat ult.
It is.
I mean, we saw in that last fight, he ulted 4 people, did a ton of damage, but by the time he was able to do it, his team was just dead.
Yeah.
Thanks to that Rat being able to instantly teleport across the map.
Yeah, the Ratatoskar is also in the position quicker, as you said, and he also was able to use the ult quicker. Oh, well, actually, I mean, the ult just gives him the advantage to rotate quicker. But yeah, I mean, Jack is still dominating the network, but now Apollo is starting to catch up. Brock is building a really strong lead, and he's going to be definitely a big danger to watch out for with those ults. And the crit build that is currently being forced, pretty much rushed here by Brock.
Yeah, he's already finishing that Wind Demon, which is gonna be a lot. Camazotz is soloing the Greater Scorpion. Shouldn't really have any contest here.
Yeah,
The
they're looking on the left side on the map here. They might be looking to set up the Gold Fury for We Are Deadly. But I think the secure action on Shalom Jack is a bit better with the Yana sword than it is with the Raging Node. Ooh, look at those big crits coming in from Brock here. Spoken out Miracle with the Wind Demon. That's what you get for rushing that Wind Demon. A lot of damage. As now Maxis
quite a bit of damage onto the Sobek, but he's gonna be able to walk away with good bit of this. Oh, that Camazotz takes a lot of damage from that Tsukiyomi, as Apollo is going to find a chariot onto the Gold Fury, starting up with all of that poke off the Camazotz.
Yeah, here comes the secure battle. Let's see who's gonna be able to get it. Oh, that's the ult from Yanis actually being able to get it.
Through Space and Time is able to secure the Gold Fury, and the fight rattles, knocking up 3. Camazotz getting the air as Shalom Jack find 2 kills onto We Are Deadly off of the back end of that fight. Tsukiyomi gonna find himself a little bit out there. CC coming through from Kabrakan into the beads. Knockup is going to be able to finish the kill onto Tsukiyomi. That was a huge steal and a huge fight for Shalom Jack.
Yeah, huge turnaround. They're able to steal the Gold Fury and secure 3 kills for not losing anybody on their side against We Are Deadly. We Are Deadly really risked it there with the start. They had used Apollo, so they probably felt that they needed to do something with it, so they just dove onto the Gold Fury. But as I was just talking a bit before, I think the Janos ult is way better secure, because you get the burst obviously instantly, while with Raging you have to press a couple of times your buttons to get those damage numbers in, and yeah, just the Janos ult is able to secure it instead of the Raging, and that's a pretty big loss, pretty tough loss. And now you can see the gold is grown to almost 3,000 gold from what is basically an even game, and it's gonna be an uphill battle from here for We Are Deadly.
That's a hard team fight to lose when you like use so many of your resources trying to take that Gold Fury, but you just Yana steals it away with the through Space and Time. This the solos are both absolutely massive in these fights. Shalom Jack starting with the Pyromancer, but I don't think there's enough people here from We Are Deadly to respond to this. I didn't know until right now that you could drop Pyromancer through a portal.
Yeah, me neither actually.
So
that's quite interesting. I thought you can't drop any of the neutrals, but probably not. Oh, Polly's looking for the gold here.
That was weird.
Oh, he just drops down.
Apollo vaults in. Not quite going to be able to find anything as the rest of his team's in mid.
That's quite a risky drop there. There's nobody to support him, and if Shalom Jack had realized that, it might have easily turned on him and placed force his relics there. Kind of risky by Brock, but he just, gets lucky, I guess, by Jack not just going on him, because Jack is really big, as you're saying. But actually, Brock, as you see at the net worth statistics there, he's basically even with Jackie now. And the huge lead that the Soul Laner had early on is basically nullified, even though the team fights have been going well. But as you can see, Yanis and Anhur have recovered really well from their struggle in the early game where they got picked off, and obviously Anhur had to start the lane alone because of some invades that Shalom Jack tried, and now he's recovered quite well. He's only about 400 gold behind Brock, but he's still behind, so it's going to be a bit rough for him. As Brock has Wind Demon complete and an Executioner, an XZ, and Anhur only has an XZ, and he doesn't have the Wind Demon quite complete yet, so he's a bit behind in gold and build pattern, so he's going to be struggling with the duos for a while.
Looking at the player damage charts that just came out, the Kraken was like massively ahead of anybody else. Though Camazotz just took a lot of damage there off that Raijin. Giannis portals in, still able to find Kabrakan, but not quite having the damage to, not quite being in a position to finish that kill.
Yeah,
Kabrakan is around the back of the fight.
Yeah, Kabrakan is looking to go into the region, but now he's blocked in and doesn't have any escape options, and he's getting picked on. There goes the Rattle.
Oh, Rattle lands onto only Kakolin, but Kakolin manages to hit 4. This, quite a bit of damage coming out from Raijin, but not quite enough sustained damage to finish any of these kills. Shalom Jack is gonna look for the disengage, as Brock is looking for an Apollo ult. Not quite, not gonna hit anyone. It was gonna get
the
walled
wall.
into the tower. Just being able to break it in time. Sobek is extremely low, going to get picked off by this this Kamazotz, maybe. Kamazotz also extremely low. Tsukuyomi runs through the fight. I can't tell if it landed because I don't think I saw him teleport to anybody.
I think he landed only on Nutley, and Nutley died before the ult got fired, so he didn't teleport forward as the Raging ult came in and secured the kill on the Kamazotz. And that's actually a fairly favorable trade for We Are Deadly, as they trade the jungler for enemy team, and they only lose their support. Delano gets his sword dead, of course, but he's almost even levels with the junglers, which shows he's been farming actually quite well here. As Jamo is struggling behind, one level behind, but he's doing quite well actually on the network charts. As you can see, he's actually ahead of the Tsukuyumi here, and gonna be interesting to see. But now Miracle might be in trouble here.
He's gonna go straight up down. Did you not see the Raijin that was right there? Oh, hey, that Aegis did so much work.
Oh, Brock gets away with 1% HP, but here comes the Janus. They're looking for a provision. Comes the ult.
Janus fell just off the mark.
It's missed, and the stun from Jamal misses, and that looks like a Slender might be
They're
actually
gonna
in trouble.
keep going for it.
But here
Apollo's
comes the
fast enough to get
flank.
away.
The flank from Maxis and Delano, and now Maxis is looking to ult onto the Janus. Big minority here is in trouble as he's left alone against the Tsukuyomi. That's not a favorable fight.
He's just outmaneuvering them.
He's just
Dodging-
juking everything.
He's done.
Oh,
that's
he
unlucky.
died to the stars. That's so unfortunate. He dodged
Dodging-
everything.
Every ability just to walk into that. Oh shoot, who is that? Nope, Giannis just died. Kraken is gonna get picked off, and Kamazotz has no way out here as We Are Deadly is going to be able to start up the Primal Fury with nothing on the map that can respond to them in time.
Yeah, and no contest here as the Janus is dead. No ult from him. Mirkon is coming over, but no ult from him either, and he's just too late to the party. Jackie is getting a lot of solo farm in the right lane, but he's not participating in those fights. And as you can see, there's a huge swing in gold and XP just going into We Are Deadly's favor as they're able to recover. Now Mirkon.
Oh, Anatorius is gonna find himself a little bit out of. He got the tower, but he's gonna get killed by that on her up down. Gonna be able to knock up Apollo. Onher has a massive, he's got a lot more mana, but is he going to be able to fight? Whoop!
Oh.
Stun off the mark. Ult comes
well.
out, and they're going to be able to pick up the kill onto the Apollo.
Yeah, and the Janus ult comes in just to make sure that no rotation is going to be outmatched as he can bring his team over, and Delano and Slendir there decide against it as they move away and move back to base. It was kind of a risky fight, but yeah, Mirkon was able to outplay the 1v2, securing the kill on Notorious, who was unfortunately tanking the tower. He did secure the tower, but then Mirkon was able to also outtrade Brock. As this might be a fire giant start here by Shalom Jack. Two people are dead on the blue side, and only Maxis is close to contest.
He's close enough to contest, but Raijin should be able to get here in time. Maxi's taking a lot of damage. Raijin able to find the that ability. Whoa, that's a big crit for Onher. Gonna be able to pick up the kill on the Tsukuyomi. Raijin dashing away. So Sobek gets ulted, but Rat's gonna find a couple with his ult, but immediately getting crowd controlled into this massive wall of damage.
Yeah, the wall of pain's
Shalom.
there, just blocking off the Ratatosker. He just gets hit by everything there, and his ult is quite ineffective, even though he managed to knock up 3 people. Slendir had already used his, but now Delano is maybe in trouble here. Ooh, Nutley gets damaged pretty hard there by the Radiant, and Radiant just basically soul kills him as Brock comes in.
That's gonna cost Kamazotz his relics and his life, but a lot of damage out of the Sobek as he tries to find this Onher. This Onher's crits are really hitting hard. Raijin looking for another pick onto onto this Janus, but not quite able to find it with Kabrakan guarding him so close.
Yeah, that was actually a great save by We Are Deadly. Managed to... Oh, they actually did kind of lose the fight due to losing a Notorious and previously losing Maxis as well. But they were able to get the response to Nutley at the end. Great play by Slendir. basically getting the pick off. But yeah, the gold and the XP just swung back for Shalom Jack after those 2 successful team fights on the left side and on the right side, but they do not manage to secure the Fire Giant, and that's a big win at least for We Are Deadly, as they are able to stall out the game for a bit longer. But that's another start on the Fire Giant by Shalom Jack, and now everybody's up on We Are Deadly, so that's kind of even more risky than before.
Apollo has his ult down for half whatever the timer is. But Slandeer's gonna find a lot of poke onto the Kabrakan, cutting about a fourth of his health down. Fire Giant's gonna be dropped as enough players from We Are Deadly are in the area. But Shalom Jack is gonna start to go for a bit of pressure. Rat's in the air. Doesn't drop down on anybody, but is going to go in to try and deal with this this Kabrakan doing massive damage to his backline. The Cullen.
Oh, huge damage.
He's just doing so much. That's going to be 3 kills onto We Are Deadly with 50-second timers.
Oh, the crits.
Kabrakan going to get poked out and have to back, but there's still kill potential here under this Apollo. Giannis finds a big unstable vortex, but this Tsukiyomi still in here fighting, going to have to drop his Aegis, and Shalom Jack are going to be able to pick up the kill. Apollo goes into the air looking towards those low health bars on Shalom Jack.
Shalom Jack are quite low here. It might be a
giant.
big opportunity for...
They don't know this is coming. The ult is going to be able to pick up the kill on her as Apollo...
Oh, the ult misses.
Oh,
the crits! Oh, he's doing
massive
it
damage coming up from the Apollo. He's going to find 3! There's
kill
no way
Apollo.
they get the Fire Giant off of this. That play was massive.
Massive play there by Brock. Jumps in with the ult. He's able to kill Mirkon off of the drop on the ult. And he's able to get huge crits into both Giannis as well as Kamazots in the jungle. And he's able to finish off both the Kamazots and the support in Kabrakan. Huge play there by Brock, saving the Fire Giant. Yet again, a We Are Deadly. And now they're basically all gonna respawn before the Shalom Jack players. That might even look themselves for a cheeky Fire Giant start here, as they're gonna have a player advantage for a decent while.
Yeah, despite the sick play from Brock, Shalom Jack is gonna find themselves up about 3k gold, which going into this this next phase of like Fire Giant fights, I think is gonna do a lot for them.
Yeah, Jack is still steamrolling ahead as the Ratatoskar is not having a good game. 0-7 sitting there down at the scoreboard, opposed to the 7-1 that's Jackie, 7-1-10 even that Jackie's rocking. He's been part of 17 of the 22 kills for Shalom Jack. Pretty huge impact by the solo laner, as he's top of the network and by actually a decent margin ahead of the Apollo as well from the opposing side. So he's definitely going to be a huge player to watch out in those fights, as if he gets his damage off and his ults off on both the Rage form and the Polar form, as Notorious is in trouble here. He's just going to ult out, so he's no problem. But yeah, as I was saying, if Jackie's able to get both his ults off, he's going to be able to do massive damage, and he's also going to be able to tank a lot of the damage from We Are Deadly. But actually Brock is able to secure the Primal Fury, which is really good for them, as they can look for securing neutral objectives, which I'm always looking for something, but Slandeer is able to just jump out.
Fair bit of damage onto Slandeer. Couple ults dropped, specifically the Giannis ult dropped by Big Minority on Shalom Jack.
Brock is in trouble.
Oh, Kabrakan ult's going to...
Oh, he
barely got... Oh, nope. The dot on Kamazots 2 is going to be able to find the kill. Another on the Tsukiyomi, as the Raijin ult to try to
Jackie's
keep
almost
Kabrakan away from him. He's gonna be able to find a kill onto Kabrakan as his dash gets cancelled, I think, by the Cullen. Slandeer falls to on her jump, and We Are Deadly are left in shambles after that engagement.
Yeah, really good fight, able to kill Brock with just a tick, as now the Big Minority portals into the Ratatoskar. That's not where he wants to be.
Gonna be able to get a kill onto the Giannis and get out with the ult. Drops back down. And is That was way too risky. A rough one.
Yeah, that was way too risky play. He's obviously not gonna be able to get the kill there, as there are 3 people, and Mirko still had his beat and also Aegis. He just uses the beat and is able to just out-attack down toward the Tusker for everyone. But yeah, huge fight for Shalom being able to get overall 4-for-1 trade, as only Janus falls towards the end of that fight. Really well played by the boys in red, and now they're streaming ahead with actually what's now become almost a 5k goal lead. Pretty solidly ahead with Anhur actually surpassing also the Apollo now. And we're looking at some full builds pretty much, just the boots remaining to be replaced on the Hunters, as well as the mid laners. So it's going to be quite explosive team fights. The junglers are almost there. Actually, Tsukuyomi is there, just needs to again replace his boots. Very strong build, has Anchile to protect him with that silence. Also, obviously, abusing the Shifter's Shield, which is pretty strong right now. There's a bit more out-attack focused build that's on the Kamazots, but he also gets the Anchile to be able to get that massive silence in when he dives into the backline. And he's going to be able to dive in with Jackie, who is huge, 17-1-13 on the Kukulkan, and he's been a driving factor in this team fights, just tanking up all the damage, being able to absorb it. And as you can see at the gold and XP difference, it's actually quite large for Shalom Jack now. Although, as we said, the items are pretty much almost complete, so how much of that the gold is actually going to matter is kind of not going to matter that much, as you can tell. And also the levels are almost everybody's 20 except for the support, so actually the lead is not as big as it looks.
All teams going to gather up around the Fire Giant. We just hit 30 minutes, so it's going to be enhanced. Apollo, forced to drop both relics, is going to die because he's out of position. Though Kamazot takes a lot of damage in the process. Rat ults after him, but the Blink is going to be able to... Oh! Counter Blink. Kukulkan took a lot of damage in that. Rat might be able to find something here, but the Tsukuyomi drops Aegis, a lot of damage on her.
Ooh, Inventories in the backline.
Is going to be able to find one on her. Potentially a little more. Nope, he's gonna die to the Kukulkan.
Oh, that's a block.
Block goes on to Giannis. Giannis gonna. Oh, he's gonna get through the portal, but he's going to die to Raijin's second ability.
Yeah, the Raijin being able to secure the kill, and that should be actually Fire Giant. There's only Jackie's left to defend. And how the tables have turned. You're deadly, behind by quite a few gold, but as I was just discussing, right, the gold is not that, doesn't matter that much, as pretty much everybody's full build. And only Jack is left to defend, and I don't think he's going to be able to get to the Fire Giant in time. And that should be enhanced Fire Giant for real deadly, who have swung the game massively. Just that's team fight win.
That's going to be enhanced Fire Giant on 4 of their 5 players. Going to be a big power play for We Are Deadly. They should be able to... Whoop! Apollo ults in onto the Kukulkan. I think he was just ulting the fire or something and was looking for a target at the end there. Uses a lot of his mana since those Apollo nerfs from a while ago. Yep. Making that ult cost a lot more.
That's also the ult gone on Jackie, so he can't look for an aggressive engage for a while. He has to wait for that cooldown to come back up. Obviously the Apollo with much longer cooldown, so that's not that big of a problem. But now that's full map control for We Are Deadly, as they're probably going to look up to pick up the Oni Fury, which is going to spawn really soon. And they've managed to secure, as I said, EFG on 3 or actually 4 even of the 5 players. Only the Soul Laner, Ainotoris, and the Ratatosk are missing it, but it's going to be big, especially on those damage dealers. There is Tsukuyomi, Slayer obviously on the Radiant, and Brock on the Apollo. They're going to be hitting really hard in this late game, and we're going to have to see in how Shalom Jack are able to do that. As you said, last team fight, Jackie got poked out really quickly, and he wasn't even able to transform into his rage form to become even more tankier. So he has to watch out a bit more than he used to have to before, because now everybody's full build on the damage dealers especially, and he's not as tanky as he used to be and not as far ahead as he used to be.
That's gonna be a... they picked the Oni Fury. That's gonna be a fair bit of pressure for We Are Deadly. Those waves coming up, and if those waves get onto a tower already with the especially with the big stack of minions we're seeing in the right lane, those will just knock down a tower by themselves.
Yeah, and they're gonna start threatening the Phoenix, and obviously it's really good to push with the Oni wave when you have Fire Giant, as the minions help you by dealing more damage. But now Maxis is alone against 4 here.
Gonna take a lot of damage, and the kill is secured, but it cost... Whoop, Raijin got caught up in the Cabrakan wall there. Pluck finds onto Jackie, costing his beads, but Apollo ults the backline, killing Giannis. A lot of damage goes in on the Camazotz. Camazotz does not have an ult, but he's going to be able to get far enough away from enemy team, and Jackie is going to get caught by those 4 members of We Are Deadly that are running it down the mid lane right now.
Now only
Phoenix
Mirkon
gonna be
is
starting up.
really left to defend, and now he's getting jumped on as 2 of the 3 late game threats for Shalom Jack are dead in the face of Kukulkan and Janus, obviously, and it's gonna be a big trouble here as both Phoenixes on the left side and on the right side are getting pushed in.
All 3 Phoenixes are going to be picked up by We Are Deadly. That is going to make it really hard for Shalom Jack to defend this when they go for the end.
Ooh, Mirkon's
Pushing
trouble.
in, that's a lot of damage onto that on her. Half his health. Kabrakan gets plucked in, takes a lot from the Apollo autos, but he's got special armor, so it's not going to do too
Oh
much.
my god, those guys.
Kabrakan lands, getting a few, but
There's nobody to pull up.
Titan taking some damage from minions. 2 kills for We Are Deadly.
Titan's in
That
trouble.
should be an end call.
Yeah, that is in trouble here.
Titan's gonna be started up. Ult's gonna the Giannis ult is not gonna be enough. That is a end game for We Are Deadly. That is a huge turnaround from the fights we saw in the early game.
We are deadly able to pick up the late game, just completely turn the game on its head, win a few crucial fights, secure the EFG, and then just push with it and win the game. Pretty solid play there by the boys in blue. So anyways, we're gonna toss back to the desk here. Take it away.
What a game! What a game!
What a game that was. Indeed, very back and forth on both sides. And I was very much wrong about Shalom Jack being able to steamroll them as a team. But the more I think about it, the more I realize it wasn't due to We Are Deadly playing particularly well as a team, although they definitely did. It came more down to how they were using those sort of individual globals in the fights. It seemed like a lot of their main strategy, especially in that later game, was to do more of a hit and run. Start a fight, get everybody pretty low, and then after a while, run away basically, and then use those engagements to basically use those globals to re-engage and chase down the low health teams. And we saw how effective it was later on in that game. Brock, I mean, I want to use the term brave, just ulting straight under towers with no fear of being punished at all. It was insane.
Yeah, and you're talking about all these globals, but have you taken a look at the Raijin? Like, what a performance that guy
Oh, yeah.
had!
39,000 player damage is just insane for this. But on the flip side of the coin, you have to give it, despite the fact that Shalom Jack may have lost, Jackie on that Kukulkan, man, was huge. He was basically the brick wall that they had to knock down to get through the end of that game. It was ridiculous. And I think that mostly came down to, I mean, he was basically top of the net worth charts all of the game, essentially. And it came down to more the fact that Notorious wasn't really roaming that effectively early on, so you managed to get that 3-level lead. And when you give Kukulkan a lead, it's very hard for him to give it back. So it felt like Jackie, I mean, unfortunately they didn't end up losing, but you know, the amount that he was doing for that team was insane.
Yeah, I don't think there was any much more you can ask from your solo laner. Really, he did his job, and I think his team let him down a little bit.
A little bit, yeah. I think that was also due to how he was building pretty effectively. Personally, I think the builds on both sides, don't get me wrong, I understand that Rat, he's an assassin. So you want to be building more damage oriented, less than you want to be building tanky. But you've got a Kukulkan there who's just gone fully into the tanky. You know, he's got Mystical Mill, he's got Stone of Gaia, he's got Void Shield, tank boots as well. You are not bursting through that very quickly. Meanwhile, you've got the sort of off-tank Shifter's Shield and Seal kind of build from the Ratataska. Early on, something like for example, a Janus can burst through that pretty effectively, and even Anhur can burst through that pretty effectively. So I think overall, it came down to a lot of intelligent building, but I think just the way that We Are Deadly, played the late game, the later team fights, using that lead they built on the left-hand side for that Apollo, because they got early on, like before 5 minutes, 2 out of the 3 first purple buffs went over to Brock. Like, he was evaded by We Are Deadly over and over again. And when you've got an Apollo that gets that far ahead, good luck trying to shut that down. He is so slippery to shut down. You've got the dash, the mez, and the ultimate that you can just skedaddle away on. And also with that passive, he's a very, very strong jeweler. Probably one of the better jewelers in terms of hunters. Like, that 1 versus 1, if you don't play that correctly as that Anhur, you're not doing very well in that situation. And with that passive, it became almost impossible to shut him down. And I think he kind of realized that, threw the team on his back and said, look, just give me the space I need. Just get them low. I'm going to recall, and then I'll ult back over, and I'll clean them up. And we saw that around sort of towards the later game. Shalom Jack were almost about to get the Fire Giant. And then in comes the Apollo, ults on, gets a triple kill, 1 versus 4, 1 versus 5, which shouldn't happen. And then he does die for it, but now what can Shalom Jack do? They haven't got any of the secure anymore, none of the damage is alive. It was just a really strong performance as well from the Apollo, and I would personally want to give him that MVP. For me, it's a sort of a tie-up between the Raging and the Apollo.
I would give it to the Ryan, just because he played a little bit more clean. I mean, Deadly probably just won because of the clutch plays by Brock with the Apollo ult, but in the end, I think because the Ryan played a bit more clean, he should get it, but we'll see.
Yeah, I think the Raging in team fights, like, all you can really ask of a mid laner is that you don't have to talk about them late game. Like, you don't want to talk about them losing or not hitting their stuff. Every single fight, he was in there, he was getting the ultimates off, he was getting massive 4-man's ult in almost every single fight, and even though he was getting picked off a little bit more often than the Apollo was, it's to be expected, especially with the Raging. He has that one jump he can get out with, and after that, what else does he have to escape? But yeah, I would personally say that the Raging, very, very strong. I would probably be inclined to give it to him. Just the amount of damage he was putting out, you can't ask for a more consistent performance on a Raging.
Yeah, and to end on that note, if Jackie won the game, he would have got it, but he didn't, so he does not get it. If you want to see the builds or all the more detailed stats, you can visit the website and take a look at the match details for this matchup. So we'll see you back for game 2. Welcome back to the picks and bans for game number 2.
Already
I'm back here with Rob. How are you doing, Rob?
doing
Again.
fine. Quite excited to see what's going to happen. The first game caught us, I think, both off guard. Predictions completely wrong. So I'm going into this one with a fresh mind, open-minded. Anything could happen.
Immediately a Raijin ban by Shalom Jack. I think it's a smart ban if you saw the performance of Slender last game.
Yeah, it was really, really strong last game. The amount of damage it was doing, like I said, wasn't the flashiest, but if it's getting the job done, it's getting the job done.
Yeah.
And these big sort of AoE team fights, getting them off the board is always wise. And setting Tiamat and Gilgamesh, I guess standard bans at this point. You don't really
I
want
guess
them
so.
to at all.
They got banned in both games, so.
Yeah, it's just no one really wants to deal with the set. No one wants to deal with the Tiamat, and Gilgamesh is just whatever he wants to do. So no one really wants to bother with that anymore.
I'm
Although they're
wondering
not
what they're gonna.
Not going quite as fast as they were last game. Last game was very back and forth. I think now they've had a chance to sort of feel each other out and see how it goes. Probably deliberating a little bit more this time, hopefully.
Yeah, they're thinking a bit more about their bans. They're taking their well time.
They only have one, and there was quite a few things to
And
take
it's
out.
the Sobak.
Hmm.
Oh, and an instant response with the Athena. It looks like we are that. We're just waiting.
Yeah, just waiting there with it hovered. Sobek. Surprising didn't it go for something like the Apollo or something like that. Unless they've
Yeah,
got
the
some kind of
Globals
plan.
were the name of the game last game.
Yeah.
So it's surprising that they're like only the Athena's taken away.
Unless they've got some kind of plan that they don't want a Sobek on the pool for. Because I know Sobek can really do numbers against sort of immobile mages. So maybe they might have that something like that in mind early on.
We'll go and see.
We'll see. They're really taking their time on this second ban.
Yeah.
I imagine if you're Shalom Jack, do you go the same route as before? Do you just pick something like the Apollo? Do you just give Makon his Anhur again? Because I think it was fine. Scylla, yeah, makes sense to me. Scylla being a really, really strong mid laner right now.
I think if I'm Shalom Jack, I'm basically gonna run it back and maybe switch up some of the playstyle because they were actually like kind of winning the game, and then I don't know, it didn't go their way. But
like the infinite quote said, that up until they lost, they were winning.
Yeah.
And that was definitely the case. I think it became more about how they were using those globals. But I mean, King Arthur gets through. He was banned last game, so we might have a complete switch up of the draft right now. We are deadly trying something completely different. Notorious did not have the best game, in my opinion, on that Ratatoska in the last one. So going for something a lot more standard in that King Arthur, to me, that makes a lot more sense. Play it a little bit safer in the lane, and if he can get ahead early, they might be able to steamroll even faster this time around. This one,
Jing Wei being
hovered. There you go. Locked in. So, not really going for that global anymore. I think Brock did have an amazing game on the Apollo, but...
the Ario counter against the King Arthur.
Straight up. Yeah. And the Najjar. Lots of setup for that Iron Monster. Problem I have with the Najjar is... Do you really want to be picking a jungler just for setup? Or do you want to have a jungler that can actually, facilitate a lot more about the team?
I think it depends on who's playing it. So, like, if you're a facilitated playstyle jungler, then the niche is a perfect pick. But if you're looking more for that hard carry potential, just on your own or get a easy pick, sometimes the Naja doesn't work out for that. I mean, with Nisha, you can get a decent pick off, but you normally want to play it around with your team so you can get some nice sashes off. But yeah.
Yeah. I think he does also have that sort of level 4-ish power spike. Once you get a couple of points in that ring toss, you can really start to chunk people down. See also the Anhur getting removed, not really unexpected, even though, like I said, even though they lost, Makon is still very strong, and he definitely showed it in that game on the Anhur. Taking that away makes sense. Banning out the Hunbats, is that the best jungler to ban out right now? I mean, Tsukuyomi is still on the board. And that did pretty well last time.
As we saw on the team profile earlier for We Are Deadly,
Hunbats is a very strong pick from them.
Yeah, they pick a lot of Hunbats, so it's wise to ban it. And then, I mean, I like the Awilix ban.
Awilix ban is very, very good.
Yeah.
Awilix into Scylla, it's really hard to get away from that. Xingchen Pele. Interesting. I think with a Pele, you're probably looking for more like this is a very heavy dive comp now with the King Arthur and the Pele. Just
Ooh, a bulk.
all into the background. More
Hurt.
Hercules.
Ooh.
That's the question. That's actually, is that going to be a support Hercules or a? So I imagine solo, because
Ooh.
I
Are
don't.
they gonna look in the raw? Oh no, they're going to the
No.
Merlin. I was thinking if they
Merlin.
pick the raw, they don't have that much good CC for. Like they have the King Arthur ult and they have the Shingle, but you know normally
Both.
for
Both pretty easily cleansable.
yeah.
So Merlin, I think Merlin's a lot more of a kind of single-minded mid laner. He just kind of hops around, does whatever he wants, and can kind of play the game on his own. Doesn't need his team around him. Kind of like the Scylla early on. Scylla does need her team to kind of bring up the slack a bit because she's not the strongest of early game mages. I think Merlin is a little bit better in that sort of early 1 to 5 sort of level, and that mid 3v3 I think quite good because Pele is also quite good early. Has a lot of decent early pressure, and Xing Chen very disruptive as well. But looking at both of these comps, they're both a little bit out there, a little bit wacky in my opinion, because like with Shalom Jack, you've got the manager. There's not a whole lot you're setting up for in that situation, and I think when that's the case, it's better to just pick one of the more kind of like quote unquote stronger junglers like Tsukuyomi. But at the same time, for We Are Deadly, that I see a lot of decent potential in a team fight, but it's a lot of uncoordinated power that they've got. Like Xing Chen's good, but who are you really ulting for? There's no one's really properly follow up on that, in my opinion. Pele is decent at it, obviously, but Merlin just kind of does what he does anyway, and King Arthur's not really facilitating anything either. And Jingwei, very, very late game AD carry, one of the better hyper carries in the game. Early on, you're not really setting up for her, so it's a bit all over the place, in my opinion, in this game. But if I had to give it to one of these teams, We Are Deadly's roster looks a little bit stronger to me.
Does it
But
look a
Shalom
little
Jack...
bit more deadly?
I'm not even going to humor that one. How long have you had that on the back foot? How long have you waited to pull that one out?
Long time since game 1.
Since game 1. You
Well,
imagine you write it down in your hand.
Then I'm gonna give it to Shalom Jack. I'm just interesting to see what the Ninja is gonna do.
Yeah.
So let's bring it away to the casters.
Alrighty, welcome back. We're getting into game 2 of Shalom Jack versus We Are Deadly. Interesting, really interesting drafts here, especially with the Neja and the Ardio. This team feels really unconventional.
Yeah, the Asia basically looking to set up Scylla for success here, and just a lot of actually a really strong duo lane here with the Chernobog, and Hercules is gonna look to pressure the Jingwei, which is a bit weaker in the early game, as well as the Jingtian. The Jingtian can be quite tanky, but again, Hercules does a lot of burst damage. And it's interesting to see if they're gonna attempt the Jamal start where he goes over to invade blue again, but I highly doubt it since it's RQ now, even a lot less early game damage, and yeah, last time it didn't work out, so I'm gonna be really surprised if they look for similar to what they did last game.
That's an interesting, interesting starter item for the Ardio, getting Conduit Gem instead of a more soul lane centric item like.
Quite interesting.
I don't know, Thor's Axe, or I think I've seen Ardio build like the healing one before.
Yeah.
What do you think this Conduit Gem brings over those items?
Well, I think he's basically looking to get some more burst damage in and basically be a stronger fighter into the Arthur. But I don't know if this is the better option, as Arthur is going to be quite tanking. I don't know if Arthur is exactly going to be able to soak him, though she is a pretty strong character due to cancelling most of his attacks with a big critical circle she has around her. So it's a pretty strong matchup into that Arthur, but I don't know if the Conduit Gem was the exact right choice. She's going to try and win lane, and even though you're a decent counter, it's not gonna be the easiest job in the world.
Here comes Crystal did a fair bit of damage to the Jing Chen there. They have a good bit of pressure. That's kind of just what Hercules brings, though.
Yeah, Hercules brings that. He didn't use his blink yet, so they have to be still wary of that the dual lane for We Are Deadly, and anytime he has that up, he's a big danger to pretty much anybody in the early game. As we see here, 2v2 mid lane, just picking up the camps in the left side and on the right side. And I think one more interesting thing I wanted to check on is, as there's Hercules dropping on the left side. Oh, he's not gonna get anything done. But yeah, I was gonna say that it's gonna be interesting to see how the late game, or like at least the mid game, plays out, as Merlin and Jingwei are gonna scale pretty well, as Nutley is in danger here.
Ooh, now he's in a lot of danger. That knockup hit really hard. Almost finds something, but Pele's able to confirm that first blood.
Yeah, that was
So Merlin boxing.
Ooh, that's really close actually. If Big Minority had a little more damage or another spell up, he was probably gonna be able to trade the kill onto Slendier there. But very well played by Maxis, as Delano is really low here.
First the lands again on the Jing Chen, Coke down to one little bar of health. Ardio is doing quite a bit. She's getting out cleared, I think. Nope. Did she just blink?
Yeah, she just did.
Yeah, she just blinked out. I'm gonna be able to. Nope. Arthur gets away just in time. Got 1 bar of health left.
I mean, that's the early part of the conduit gem. Yeah, you pick up the bluestone, which also does a lot for you, but yeah, the conduit gem just gives him a lot of bonus damage as well to react to you, and he's able to trade pretty effectively into the King Arthurs. It's already stated that it's a pretty strong matchup, but Nutley is a bit of a struggle in the jungle. He had to only get boots 1 on his first recall, which is not ideal, as Maxis is probably going to be able to get his full boots off quite soon.
Yeah, being in jungle this early and only being able to back with boots 1 after dying to a Pele does not feel great, especially as she's gotten her ult before he's got his.
Yeah.
There's a lot she's going to be able to do with that.
And Nisha is one of the junglers. I mean, all of the gods really want to get their ults early, but Nisha is especially one because you can start set up the picks around the map, and especially you want to combine your powers with Scylla to get that combo off and go secure kill. As that's a ult onto the slate here.
Merlin's taken up to the air. Into Scylla, follow-up is there, but she does not have ult, so she's not able to confirm that kill.
Yeah,
a lot of damage onto Merlin.
This was really weird there by Nutley, I'm not sure. Big Minority didn't have his ult on the Scylla yet, and there was really not any kill pressure onto the Merlin after the ult, and he didn't even have to use his bleach, he just blinked away. He's totally safe, totally fine. And that's a node go from the Nisha, and something you don't want to see early. A node basically nullified from Nisha, as Nisha wants to get these early game snowballing and get these leads building up, and get ahead of the Pele, as Pele is going to scale much better into the late game than the Nisha is.
Yeah, this Nisha is essentially kind of relegated to just setting up for the Scylla, which is kind of what you sign up for when you play Nisha. But I liked what they said on the desk with when you're picking Nisha, do you want to draft your jungle just for setup, or do you want to actually do something with him? And I think we're definitely seeing that with Nisha. A lot of abilities onto this Ardio.
She's dead.
As We Are Deadly picks up that. That's rough.
Yeah, they pick up a second kill. Great combination there from the Arthur instantly into the Xingtian. No chance for the Arthur to react there. Jackie, no beats on him, unfortunately, so he's not able to beat any of those ults. And then straight into the knockup from Maxis. No chance for Jackie to react even. He just gets instantly blown up. Great combo by the Weird Deadly support jungle and solo to get this kill. And that's their second of the game, and starting to pull out ahead. Already 1,000 gold up at 5 minutes.
Delano's going to be Jing Chen on the right side of the map, especially with Neja and Ardio both not having beads, and the only real life for them to avoid that channel is for Neja to ult, and you really don't want to be expending such a big ult to keep yourself alive.
Yeah, definitely. And since it's like one of your main engaged duos on that team, as well as maybe even the... Oh, that's Blink there onto Brock. Oh, the ult gets nullified, but the Jingwei... Oh,
that cost the Jingwei ult, but she gets away with half of her health left.
That's true.
I really like that at an engage.
It was a good engage, but unfortunately, that's the Nisha would gone for another minute or so. So, yeah, the Nisha would got nullified by the Jingwei. So that was really well played by Brock over there on the Jingwei. Able to get the CC immunity off of her ult and immune the Ninja ult. So another ult unsuccessful for Nutley, and it's not looking too great for him in this early game.
This early game looks really solid for We Are Deadly. I'm really not convinced by this Neja pick. But if the Scylla can really get it done, I think that'll be good for them. Pele looking for something is going to. Both junglers have forced the opposite ADC's ult. Chernobog ulting into the right lane. Neja gonna get hit by the Windfire wheels. Nope. Neja gets out just fine. No mana left on the Jing Chen means not gonna be able to get any setup for that Merlin. Arthur, I don't know if he missed that or he was just trying to get in there, but
I think he straight up misses the blink ult there, unfortunately, by a Notorious. But I think also importantly in the mid lane engagement, that's the Slender's beats going on the Merlin. So at least that's a decent win for the blue side, as also the show was burned by Delano on the Xingtian. Now Jamo is probably gonna look for a blue invade, but Maxis is there and he's 2 levels up. I don't think the Herc wants to mess with this Pele right now, as she has ult up as well, if he's gonna be able to get a little burst done.
Yeah, that Pele being that amount of health, she's right outside of Stash is off the mark, but that Pele is right on the edge of being able to use her passive, which would allow her to heal up a lot of that health that the Hercules would do.
Yeah, and we see this time both junglers going for the Eye of the Jungle, which is a more obvious choice than the sort of picks they went for. Last game we had the Tsukuyomi, which we really used the Bumpus Hammer well, but this game obviously more basic attack based, and of course like more attack speed for the end characters in both Nutley and Maxi, so they're both opt for that one. But Jackie is still getting pressured in lane quite hard, and he's actually not doing too well in the network department, but he's actually top damage together, well, which is pretty much solo lane numbers, together with the King Arthur just standing on top of the world by a mile, as they just constantly trade in that solo lane.
Yeah, this Arthur has a pretty nice lead on the RDO. I think all coming out of that early gank from his team.
Yeah.
The I think Shalom Jack is struggling a lot in this early game. I think their best chance is to get the Scylla online, because Scylla really does work late game.
Yeah.
Especially if the Hercules and the Neja can set up for it.
Yeah, they do have great setup for the Scylla, and if she's able to get, as you said, a lead. Ooh, that's a note onto the RTO though. Adelana is here.
All ends on the RDO. She's got no beads, so that Jing Channel's gonna go through. She's still gonna dash, so she might be able to get up for free. Neja shows up, sashes, and ults the Jing Chen. I don't think there's kill potential here, but well, maybe. But saving his teammate is more than worth it. Whoa! Oh, that Herc Bola hit really hard, but Pele is able to pick up a kill onto the RDO, bringing her down to 0-2. As We Are Deadly is starting to flee away from the Scylla, dashes in. Not quite can be able to find anything, and a disengage called by Shalom Jack.
But it's important to mention that Mirkon uses ult on the Chernobog as a blink is engaged there, and a Notorious gets picked up. Great engage there by Jamo with the blink. But it's important to note that Mirkon uses ult, and now Jingwei is getting all the free farm she wants in the left lane, and you don't want to see a Nady carry get early game snowball that much, because Jingwei is a monster in the late game. And now for sure, even though they picked up a few kills on the right side with the Mirkon ult, he's still there actually. He still hasn't been able to recall, as he's cancelled yet again. And Leno is going to get picked up there by another great play from Nutley and the Sashin. But yeah, I don't think those kills are enough to make up for the difference that Mirkon has lost on the left side, as Jingwei is basically able to pick up the whole left jungle and farm a few ways in between both tier 1 and tier 2 towers.
I think you're right. This Jingwei just got a lot of farm, and she's gonna be able to. She's gonna be really swinging late. And if we learned anything from last game, Crit Hunter's hurt.
Yeah, definitely hurt, and Brock had a massive 3v1 last game with, or 3v5 even, I think it was, on the Apollo.
Yeah.
With those crits, so he's definitely a player to look out for. But I guess on the positive side for Shalom Chuck, they're able to get some assists and kills onto their Scylla, which is probably their biggest win condition, as we discussed before with the setup from Ninjas. So yeah, definitely a positive outlook for them as well off of these trades, and they've managed to bring down the lead to about 500 gold, which is pretty solid.
I really like what this Pele is doing here build wise. I think that Fate is going to be built into an Erendite, which is going to let her do a ton of damage on these.
Yeah, it's gonna be able to get the shield off as well. Pretty good for her. As you can see, both supports going for the standard tank boots into thieves build as well with the benevolence. And we might have an engagement here.
Well, that ring toss did a fair bit, but Hercules is taking a lot of poke from the Jingwei. Neja goes through, but is caught up by the beads. Still has no beads on Neja. Going to be able to find a kill for the Jingwei. Scorpion goes down. Scorpion went down to We Are Deadly, as it's about to show up on the on Shalom Jack's side. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, and that's Maker in trouble.
Whoop. Gonna have to ult across the map. Where can he go that he doesn't die?
It's mid lane,
It's mid lane, but he's still under a lot of pressure there. Gonna be able to get out with his life.
Yeah, and that's another ult for Nutley. Unfortunately, nullified again by perfect time beats by Brock. This time not his ult, but his beats. But yeah, another unsuccessful engage by the Neja there, and it's not looking too great as Gold Fury started here. There's probably not gonna be any contest as also Shalom Jack had to recall to base.
I think we're really seeing the immediate effects of that Jingwei getting a lot of farm. Scylla into her ult, just off the mark. Slandir gonna get out with the beads and a shell. As Pele's onto that Hercules, Jingwei finds the kill, and Scylla is able to dash out, leaving the Gold Fury alive and Hercules dead.
Yeah, ooh, Brock is in trouble.
Oh.
So it's out.
Yeah, there goes Jingwei out.
That's well played by Mirko. Was able to steal away the red and oh, was that stolen? Yeah, that was stolen successfully by Nutley, and the purple buff is also gonna be stolen.
Really risky play by that Merlin. If he gets caught out with that sash, he probably dies to a basic or two. Base gonna ring toss.
Yeah, it's kind of risky there, but he really wanted to get his hands on the empowered red buff, but he's not gonna be able to do that, unfortunately, as Big Minority is able to go over the wall and steal it, and then just rather pick it up and then just get away with his 3. But yeah, it's looking quite good still for Weird Deadly as Jingwei is skyrocketing ahead of the Chernobog. Actually the King Arthur is doing quite well into the RTO matchup, even though it's supposed to be a very strong counter. But I guess the ganks did help quite a lot on that with the rotations coming in from the jungler and the support go onto that RTO, getting pressured quite hard.
I think I saw audio was like just slightly ahead. But like I said earlier, we're seeing the like direct impact of this Jingwei having slightly more farm than that Chernobog off the Chernobog rotation.
Yep.
She was able to really like contribute to that fight. She's highest in the net worth by like 7,000 gold. That's a lot this early. 700. Yep, I'm good at numbers. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, no problem.
That's a lot this early in the game.
Yeah, it's quite a large lead, but yeah, items are looking currently even, but obviously as more items start to get built, this lead is going to be even more noticeable. But yeah, for now, right now they're kind of on the uneven strength, but just the perfect timing of the beats from Brock on every ult that Neja has been looking to get on top of him, and it's been massive in this team fight for turning them out, and Nutley is just basically left alone in the middle of the entire enemy team with no escape options really. So yeah, pretty rough start of the game from the Neja.
Arthur all gonna find the target onto the Artio. Artio stun goes through, but is she gonna? I don't think her dash is gonna be able to get her away in time.
There's 3 people over here. The Gold Fury
We Are Deadly's converging as Shalom Jack is gonna be able to pull a Gold Fury out of this. Massive distraction by the Artio.
Oh my god, she does so much damage.
Why is she alive? That's so much healing. She's still gonna die, but she bought so much time for her team to steal that Gold Fury. As Jingwei has her ult forced out.
Though you have to say that's very well played by Jackie, almost able to get the turnaround kill on Maxis, who is currently sitting at red health on the right side. Very well played. As I said, gets a lot of healing, a lot of tankiness with that breastplate against 2 physical damage dealers. The ult from A Notorious into the knockup from Maxis was really strong, and into the ult again from Maxis, but there's not enough damage yet to burst that RTO straight up. They didn't have the Jingtiano to secure the CC chain they had before, so wasn't looking too great. And in the meantime, what did Shalom Jack do? Just look at the Gold Fury as Mirko is looking for a 1v1 here.
Looks for the 1v1, but finds himself landing inside the Jingwei's knockout. She's able to. That was a taunt. That was okay.
Brock giving Mirkon the treatment there. Perfectly placed
Yeah.
knock up. Just lands straight into it out of the ode and is able to get the 1v1 solo kill with Brock is, and that's another huge advantage be built for the Jingwei as she's already 1000 gold ahead of that Chernobog.
That's huge for a Jingwei to be that far ahead at this point in the game.
Yeah.
Also losing a 1v1 like that when you ult in as a Chernobog is really demoralizing.
Yeah.
Like, that's got to be rough.
It's definitely, Mirkon is definitely not feeling too well after that one, but hopefully he's able to recover as the executioner is completed on the Jingwei, and she's really, really strong right now. I don't think anybody really has any chance messing with her.
Gonna go for a kill on the Ardbeg then. Jingwei is here, landing a lot of damage. Ardio gets hit with a third of her health. Not quite. I don't think she's good. She's really juking these shots. She started taking a little bit.
Juked
Damage
everything.
goes through on the Jingwei. Her team shows up. Jingwei has to drop ult to try to get the kill, and it takes 4 whole people to finish the kill onto that Ardio. Her sustain is incredible this game.
Jack is crying out to his team, help, help please, as 4 people just converge on him, use a lot of their abilities and skills to try and get him. That's 3 ults down, actually 2 ults down, as Merlin is obviously just a stun switcher. Now nothing might be in trouble, but yeah, Jackie drops good rotation there from Brock, picking up yet another assist. This time I think it was on the kill, and he's just snowballing further ahead, but Mirkon is able to get some revenge onto the left side on the tower, as an unsuccessful gank attempt happens there.
Ends up ulting onto the right side of the map, doing a lot of damage to the Arthur in the process.
That was a huge crit.
4 people for Shalom Jack, looking for something, looking for a pick here.
Lana's a bit out of position here. It's able to
Kirk
jump.
pulls a little bit off the mark.
Yeah, unfortunate there, as Delano was quite out of position. If he was able to get a pull in, I'm pretty sure the Jingtan was done for. He's able to get his jumps off and just get away from the situation. As now the Jingwei and the Merlin are rotating over, so Shalom Jack need to be careful here, as this Jingwei is really huge.
Oh, Scylla's taking a lot of damage. The dash did not get her far, but her ult's gonna get her the rest of the way out. Nutley taking a lot of damage to this Pele. Blink out might be able to. Yep, Blink out's gonna be able to get him. Oh, not quite.
Oh, loot.
Gonna have to ult away from the Jing Chen, but he does make it out with his life, meaning that We Are Deadly does not pick up a kill from that fight.
Yeah, that was a great opportunity to catch out there. The Scylla, both relics burned on that very, very important carry on the side of Shalom Jack. And Nutley's sword is gone, so engage is going to be really hard for Shalom Jack, as mid tower is going to fall to both Brock and Slaindir here.
Let's see, that fight I think was still good for We Are Deadly, because they were able to, since they were to force that Neja ult out, they're able to farm the map a lot safer. As
Yep.
That's something they really need to get this. The Scylla's 2 levels behind. That needs to not be that way.
Yeah, it's really looking rough, as Merlin is also about 500 gold ahead of the Scylla, and not to mention that Brock is about 600 gold ahead of his counterpart. And most importantly, I think the jungler difference is pretty large here, as Nutley is 1000 gold ahead of, or rather, sorry, Maxis is 1000 gold ahead of Nutley, with a 4-1 score, doing very well on that Pele. Getting the Anchile done, getting that Iron Dye done, and just swinging around, being very tanky as well after ulting. So yeah, it's going to be really tough for that Scylla to play the team fights, as she's going to be getting constantly dove on by that Pele and probably the King Arthur.
There's a bit of support punch out for a minute there.
Yeah.
As the blink and the forces out the ult again. That is a huge resource gone from Shalom Jack, as We Are Deadly's able to stun the Gold Fury.
Let's go to
Fury popped from Shalom Jack, as they're able
stolen.
to clean it up.
Shalom Jack steal the Gold Fury.
Scylla.
Now Jamo is in trouble, as 4 people are chasing him down, and Arthur is probably going to be able to, yeah, he's probably there here. But that's a huge steal on the Oni Fury. They're going to get the fire waves or the empowered waves to help him with deep pushing. But still, that's a big minority dead, and Jamo is also dead, so that could be a Fire Giant call from the red side here of We Are Deadly.
I think it's gonna be that or a Pyromancer. The waves are really nice, but losing your mid and your support right when the enemy team they're gonna start with the Fire Giant. Yeah, when this exact thing happens, I don't think that's a trade you want to take.
No, definitely not.
The minions might be big, but there's really just not a lot. There's nothing to steal this, but I think Artio can do a lot. Artio can put in a lot of work, especially onto Delano, who took a ton of damage. However, the Artio and the Nisha are gonna fall.
Crits. The crits coming in from Mirkon.
Yeah, we crit.
It's definitely getting those crits off. Barracuda
That's
style.
exactly 20%.
Yeah, Barracuda style crits over there. Every auto attack crits. But yeah, that's the Fire Giant secure. We Are Deadly. Huge for them.
Yeah, they're doing really well this game.
Yeah, Nutley is getting cut off position. Oh my god, look at that XP difference. It's huge. It's absolutely massive.
Oh my goodness.
Bear in mind, not everybody is level 20 yet. Yeah, most of We Are Deadly are level 20, but yeah, that's not gonna be the case for Shalom Jack with that XP difference, and also about 4,500 gold ahead for We Are Deadly, which is very strong position for them to play from. Unfortunately, Jackie had a fantastic game one. He's not had the impact as much this game's in 0-5. Obviously, he's been focused quite a lot by the opposing side, probably realizing he's one of the main threats after that first game, and just focusing down, not letting him get the lead he had last game. And it's not looking too good as Silla is 2 levels behind. And Nutley is not been able to get much with his ults done, as they've often been cleansed by a beat or perfectly timed CC immune ult. And he's not really had the impact he would have wanted this game. He's looking but still you have to remember that just one combo from that team wiping out the Jingwei, and the team fight is completely turned on its head, as the Jingwei is the biggest damage dealer. Of course, the play is really strong right now, so sitting very far ahead of that Ninja, sorry. But yeah, it's the question of I think eliminating Jingwei in the late game team fights. That's going to be the biggest priority for the side of Shalom Jack.
I think the biggest thing that's been happening in these team fights is the Jingchen is able to force out Neja's ult every single fight, which is like their main resource for.
Oh, he might happen again. Oh,
that was sick. That was sick. He sashed over it.
Finally, he's able to use the sash instead of the ult this time to dodge the Jinkan. Very well played there by Nutley. As now Jamal might be in trouble here.
Oh, he's a little bit out of position, as Haley's gonna be outrun him, but Scylla abilities are gonna be able to zone with just the threat of that damage. We Are Deadly gonna push in on that tower.
Ooh, that's pretty good.
Arthur blinks forward, getting the beads out of the Scylla, just making so much space for his backline to be able to finish up that tower. Neja trying to pick up his speed before it's stolen. As Jingwei runs in, Jingwei dashes, lands a crit. I don't think she is. No, gonna have to ult out. As We Are Deadly finds himself in the right lane, gonna start up this tower. Shalom Jack pushing like they're gonna try to take a team fight, but Arthur is pushing and making so much space for his team.
It's kind of zoned out now. He has to be a bit more careful, but yeah, he's able to get back to his team. And now they're gonna look to siege his Phoenix. As if a few more of those auto attacks had landed from the Jingo, I think the Nutley was dead to rights there. Quite unfortunate and therefore broke. But yeah.
We Are Deadly is without 2 ults, but they're going to try and push this. Well, no, okay, yeah, Merlin without 1 ult, because Merlin's a stance changer.
Yeah.
Delano takes a lot of damage. He's gonna get chunked by the Herc Boulder, as Pele is forced to ult out. That's pretty big.
That's a very favorable trade there for Shalom Jack, as Nutley was even able to win the 1v1 against Maxis, who is decently far ahead at this point. As now,
it did cost him his ult, as he's going to. I think he beats that Jing Chen ult, but it was slightly off camera.
Yeah, I think he had to beat the Jing Chen ult and force his ult out. Yeah, that's quite unfortunate. As again, Nutley is not going to be able to get this ult off onto one of the backliners. He has to use it more defensively, but that is the life of Nisha that's playing on the back foot.
Yeah, We Are Deadly's going to back off and reset that fight, as Brock is gonna be able to soul his Gold Fury without any contest.
I mean, those crits, I don't think anybody can contest it. It basically does a major ability late game with those crits. It's kind of insane. Oh my god, look at his buff just
that was
evaporate.
Yep.
Oh, I mean, great build, am I right? Anyways,
Oh yeah, no, it's they build the same thing every single time.
quite a big variety. As actually, Brock has his Gilded Arrow upgraded here, while Cherno on Mirkon on the Cherno block doesn't have it yet. So that's actually a pretty big advantage in terms of attack speed and the damage that Jingo is gonna be able to output with those stacks with the maxed out gold stacks onto the Gilded Arrow. As we can see, there's 3 Blink relics onto the We Are Deadly team, so they're gonna definitely looking to engage. As yeah, also there are 3 Blink relics onto the Shalom Jack side, but they're playing on the back foot. They're gonna have to look for a miracle engage here because one of the backliners, as Varjant, is about to spawn, and We Are Deadly are looking to secure this without any contest.
Yep. I'm gonna start with the fire giant again. Shenabog is on the left side of the map, but he's got null, so he's able to rotate in time if something happens here. I think so every single tank has a special armor right now, which really just speaks to how powerful crit is.
Yeah.
In the current meta.
Sure.
Fire Giant brought down to half. This Jingwei is doing far too much damage.
Oh,
Scylla looks for the steal, but is not able to find it. Slaynir picks up a kill on a Nutley. A lot of damage done on the Hercules. Hercules getting picked up by the crit, even with his spectral armor. Oh, Scylla has no relics, no dash, and that is going to be a team wipe for We Are Deadly. That is
probably gonna be game.
Yeah, that is going to be an end as 40-second timers are on the sides of the Shalom Jack.
Yeah, Shalom Jack were fighting an uphill battle there. I think it's about 10,000 gold behind onto the Fire Giant fight. Not looking too good for them from the start. They also stacked against them. They didn't have the great early game. Jack was picked on quite a lot by the rotation, and Nutley unfortunately didn't have much impact with his swords as a big minority fell behind in the mid lane. And there was a much contest this game, yeah, we were able to pick up the win.
I think the early game for We Are Deadly here was huge, and I think a lot of the issues come down to the draft. But you'll hear more about that at the desk. Thanks for watching.
Brock, Dave. It's the only thing I have to say.
Yep. I just think the draft was just way, way, way better than Shalom Jack's was. It was just ridiculous. Like I said in the picks and bans, do you want your jungler to be the primary focus like a Najjar does, or do you just pick something else? Like, think of the gods that were available. You get the likes of, something like Serket, you get the likes of even Thor or Thanos, something that can really help set up, but can also do things other than that. Najjar, the entire game felt like she was fighting off the back. He was fighting off the back foot, and it really showed. And Max Lee's on this Pele was just everywhere, just causing havoc left, right, and center, and there was nothing that Notley could have done about it because that's just not how Najjar works.
I think it was just mental coffins ever since Brock soloed Khan after Khan ulted in. And then the only other thing I gotta say is that like the 5-man of We Are Deadly are all on the controllers, and Shalom Jack has 3 PC players? 4? Oh, 3. Yeah, they have 3 PC players, which is kind of nutty.
Yeah, and looking over the stats as well, when your solo laner has the most damage on your team and you've got a Chernobog and a Scylla on your team, something's not landing in these team fights as it should. Looking over on the other side, We Are Deadly, and as you'd expect, the Merlin highest player damage, just treading once again like did in the last game.
You say Merlin highest player damage, but actually in the game, Jackie did the most player damage overall, which is kind of nutty.
Overall, yeah, but like I'm saying, do you really want that from your solo laner when you've got a Scylla and a Chernobog on your team? It's kind of...
No, you don't.
It's not really ideal. Granted, Shalom Jack were playing it well. They were making some intelligent rotations. They were trying to do... they were trying to take plays. They were trying to make the best of a bad situation, but there comes a point when you slip that far down the slope, you cannot crawl yourself back up in time. And when you've got a Pele who just gets stronger and stronger the more fed she becomes, it's basically curtains the moment she starts one-shotting your AD carries before they can even get the relics off. So well played by both teams, but We Are Deadly, absolutely amazing couple game sets, and they should be really, really proud of themselves.
If you should have to pick an MVP for this particular game, which one would you pick?
For this game, probably Max Lee's on the Pele, without a doubt. Like this Pele, right from the off, that early first blood in the mid lane, just like I said, towards the end of the game, she's just able to basically just saunter on over all casual into a team fight, one shot the mid laner, and then just leave. And he got to the point where he was literally just no one on Shalom Jack dared to go into the jungle because there could have been a Pele lurking around the corner. He became almost like a boogeyman of the game, and I think for that he definitely deserves the MVP slot.
He definitely does. So that's it for today. Thank you all for watching. If you want to find out more about the league or even join it, check out our website and join the Discord. And if you really wanted to know when the next play is going to start, we're going to tell you here again. It's next month, the 28th of June. Split 2 is going to get started. Yeah, sign up and maybe your games will get cast. Have a good one. Bye.